What's that word, y'all? This is not a fire drill. Anti is the name, and no games will be played today because something new caught my attention today. And this, which one of these non-anime characters represent hard work the most? Let's talk about it. Now, just a disclaimer, all 9 of these characters fit the description perfectly, but we're trying to figure out who number 1 is. So, starting off with Naruto's case, the very first episode we seen him, he spent the whole night mastering the forbidden jutsu, which we know is the multi-shadow clone jutsu. We've also seen him train and learn how to use and master the Rasengan. They shortened it down to make it look like a couple of weeks in the anime, but it took about roughly 3 years after he set off with Jiraiya after leaving the village. Now, the beginning of Naruto does start off with the hard work versus talent trope 100% from the beginning. That is, until they end up breaking away from that and Shippuden and start talking about who the ninja Jesus is, and then Naruto and Sasuke just end up scaling so much higher than everybody else that they barely even matter. So I would say in Naruto's case, a hard worker, just not the hardest worker on his list. Now with Deku, he trained with All Might for 10 months in order to be ready for the entrance exams. But mind you, he also does have the most OP quirk in the show. And he was gifted that. Yes, it does take a lot of strain on his body, but he was still gifted the most powerful quirk, so it's not Deku, but he is a hard worker. This still was kind of OD though, I'm not gonna lie. Now, Asta is an interesting case. Asta ended up making a promise with Yuno when he was about 5 or 6, and he spent the next 10 years doing calisthenics. And while he was untalented at birth, he does get super lucky with finding anti-magic and the devil associated to his body. And him also being compatible with Yami's ki. And he got lucky with how he found that one sword in the dungeon. Now, I'm not mad at an MC getting a little bit of luck because I do feel like that is a main trope with any MC. But there is somebody who is a harder worker than Asta on this list. He's still cold though. Now, Goku loves to train, but he's also hard work meets talent. He is one of the last Saiyans on Earth, but somehow he is the most OP one at that. He is a Super Saiyan God. And with all of that natural ability, it wouldn't really matter how much he trains. The next power-up is going to be coming for him anyway, so it's not Goku, but I do rock with him still. Saitama has the most basic workout plan, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and a 10-kilometer run. But I actually looked it up, and it said if a normal human tried to do what Saitama did, they would face heart problems, and I'm not rocking with that at all. But also being the most OP in his verse, yes, he did work towards that, but there is somebody who is a harder worker on his list. Now, Zoro does train, but I think with his introduction, he always gave off that too cool for school vibe. Like, even when we saw him hanging on a post, we already knew he was going to be that guy from the beginning. Now, the Nothing Happened scene is iconic, but this has little to do with hard work and more to do with making the right business decision. The number 2 in command should be able to take on their captain's pain. So it's not Zoro, unfortunately. Itadori was already too physically gifted with Sukuna being his uncle, and his mom, Kenjaku his mother. And Tanjiro is basically the reincarnation of Yoriichi. So the hardest worker is Rock Lee. Rock Lee had that will of fire for sure, so that's my pick, but let me know who you think in the comments. Anti out. Peace.